Yeah, 1318 on the bench here. I've scrubbed the base off with soap and water. It's got some staining on it. The machine has some spots on it from maybe bugs or something that I'll be wiping off later. But let's take a look at it and see what we've got here. Alright, this machine is stiff. Okay. There's a slot in the top here for additional patterns, and it's got a cam selector for the cam up top and built-in stitches. But for starters, let's see here. There's no screws on the top, so that means it should just pop off somehow. Yep, and it's loose. There we go. Just got to get it to pop off there. Oh, and this bobbin tire has mildew all over it, so this machine's been sitting for quite a while. That tire feels okay though, so we've got that. Alright, in here, alright, this cam selector is not moving off of the cam setting, so that's, I'm gonna have to the stitch length and stitch width knob here seem to be working, but this cam selector and the, no, this is length, and this is our width. Okay, our width moves, but the needle is not moving with it, and our cam knob is not feeling like it wants to move. So let's start with getting some oil all over in here and freeing up what we can free up. So we'll start by getting our foot out of the way and our needle out of the way. And that's, oh, is that supposed to be a quick release? Ah, okay, so this is supposed to be clever. Alright, well, that's smarter than I was. So this has a quick release foot on it, so there's a lever back here that clamps the foot on. Alright, and it's, well, that's inconvenient. This has a set screw for the needle. Is that... Oh, and that needle has rusted in there, but it is otherwise looking nice and straight. Alright. Get our feed plate off. There's the convertible insert that this style of Kenmore has. And when I lifted that up, it seemed like it sprang up. So I have a feeling there's going to be a lot of gunk under this plate when we lift it. Oh gosh, look at that. We got lint all over here. Just gobs of it. Let me get closer. This is why you need to clean under your throat plate. Look at all this filth. And there's a lump built up between the dogs here, and that lump packs tightly enough under the feed plate that eventually your machine has this lump of lint under the feed plate, and every time it tries to lift the feed dogs, it hits that lump, and there's a lot more friction, or your feed plate can even rise up, or it may be even enough to jam your machine from moving. And this machine has some other spot that is jamming, but that feed was not helping. Alright. Pop the bobbin case out. Yeah. Let's see all that? And that lint and stuff holds moisture against the bobbin case here, so now this is rusting and starting to lose its plating. I'm gonna have to scrub this off thoroughly and clean it really thoroughly, and then polish this rusted area up. This is a very filthy machine. There, it's even rusty inside the hook. This hook is going to get dipped and cleaned, and then I probably am going to have to dip this in rust remover to convert that rust back. And then you can see how much lint is packed in behind the bobbin race and everything. I would be surprised if this machine was sewing very well before it got put away. So alright, well, that's real filthy. I'm gonna move the camera again, and we'll get some oil across the top of this machine and then figure out why it's got a hitch. I'm rotating it, and this is the correct direction, and it's got a jamming spot here, and then we back up and it rotates almost an entire turn either direction before it hits this spot. So there's a place where it's jamming. Alright, looking in here, I don't see the spot that we're jamming, but first things first, we're going to get a bunch of oil in this machine to help loosen it up. So, top of that, there's a screw here where I would expect an oil location for this bearing on the end to be. So maybe we'll just put some oil around there, and then in the back here, and then across that. I don't know if that hole is an oil hole or just an alignment pin for the cam stack. there we go. Now we're, just that teeny bit of oil was enough to get our motion back. Let's move to the other end. We've got our oil spot. Yeah, and that screw is where an oiling location would typically be, right there. Alright, well, alright, that is the top oiled preliminary. There is a spring that is just visible. Right down here at the tip of my oiler, and that is covered in rust. So I'm gonna give that a thorough coat of oil so that the oil can soak in and prevent further rusting. Alright, looking at this machine, it's one of those machines with an idler pulley in it. And remember, we had that one that was locked up because the idler pulley was unlubricated and needed a drop of oil. So I am going to open this up and check the belts. And I did not know that was spring loaded. Look at that. That's a unique cover. And these belts are just sloppy loose. This machine would barely run even if... So let's put a dab of oil on there. Someone has been in here and clearly didn't get everything tightened back up. So, get our... Is this bit got a good fit? There we go, okay. So these belts don't have to be tight, but they still need to be like, this idler pulley is not supposed to be free moving like that. I don't think, is it? Oh, it totally is. This one's is just on an arm. So to tighten this, like, it's on its thing, but it's got a pivot. It's got this pivot over here. Okay, so I'll have to go underneath and pull the belt, or pull the motor down to tighten this belt. But that should not be like that. This should all be tightened tight through there. So I'll put this cover back on because those belts look okay. And get underneath and tighten slide the motor down to get those belts tightened. And having this lid spring loaded is real weird. I'm gonna see if I can get one of these screws to start. There we go. But this cover is metal, and the other ones I've seen are plastic, so. Alright. Okay. Now, when the machine tipped on its back, we can see how loose this motor belt is. It's just flopping around. So we definitely need to tighten that up. And we'll Somebody really hauled on it. There. Talk about unnecessarily tight. Okay, now just gotta make sure that's sliding. Oh. Tighten that up, and then just the teeniest snug. And now you can see there's way less deflection in that belt, and that belt is plenty tight. And yeah, earlier it was just ridiculously loose. So that's that, and I'm gonna go through and oil all across the bottom of this. Especially when you're first getting a machine out of storage and it's all stiff. Plenty of oil, especially like good sewing machine oil is fine, because you're gonna use it to flush all the goo and schmoo out of the machine and get it working again. And I hear a lawnmower going, so I guess we won't be filming in the garage for a while.